Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Microsoft Pulse. Today we have myself, Tamara, and Tom. Jen is out at the MVP Summit, and Mr. Popular just got pulled away to another meeting. So he won't be joining us today either. But we are going to go through the roadmap for you so you don't have to. It breaks down into 4 parts: in development, meaning they're working on it; rolling out, meaning should be coming to a tenant near you; launched, meaning you should have it; and canceled means nobody's going to have it. So let's go ahead and get started. Tom, why don't you kick us off?
Sure. I'm going to go start today by filling the role of Adam since Adam's not going to be here. There are a few Microsoft Purview items. Uh, Fair warning, I'm not a Purview person, but I can read just as well as anybody else can. So we're going to do a really quick run through of the items that are out there. So if anything does look interesting, you at least know it's out there. So in the development line for Purview, for the compliance portal, we have data loss prevention, visibility into configuration and policy sync status of devices. Um, then compliance portal information protection, configure display colors for sensitivity labels, and this is for the US government clouds. Apparently we've already had it worldwide, and the clouds are now getting, government clouds are now getting their love. Insider risk management, Microsoft information protection, MIP, ML classifier support. So you're going to have the whole, I want to say that's machine language, but I think that's right. Anyway, leverage trainable classifiers for Microsoft information protection to recognize various content types specific to your organization. Microsoft Purview Insider Risk Management correlates various signals to identify potential malicious or inadvertent insider risks, such as IP theft, data leakage, and security violations. That's coming out to everybody. Then we have eDiscovery Premium Review Set Advanced Filters. So you're going to have the chance to do some additional filtering for eDiscovery purposes if you're paying premium. Then data lifecycle management, disposition review, auto approval. This is something that's coming to worldwide. It doesn't appear to be coming to the government clouds. This is admins can enable, yeah, shucks. Admins can enable automatic approval of items pending disposition if the reviewer doesn't act within a specified number of days. Items will advance to the next stage of approval or auto approve for deletion if in the final stage, which I think is always a good thing because people ignore things and they get stuck. And then the final one that I have here, I think, yes, it is endpoint data loss prevention. Detect if a label is not assigned, not labeled as a condition for US government clouds. So we've had it worldwide. You're now getting it. And this is the capability to be able to configure specific restrictions for PDF and Office files that are not labeled on the endpoint devices. So that's the Purview portion of our show, or at least for in development. Tamara, go ahead and roll some out on yours, and then I'll pick up on a few other ones that maybe you didn't touch on.
Sure, Microsoft Viva. So Viva Topics in the Teams app means Viva Topics Teams app as a new destination for discovering new and trending topics in the organization, providing feedback on suggested topics, catching up on activities on topics of interest, and more, which also has follow a topic. So users can now follow topics from experiences across Microsoft 365 and the Viva Suite to receive personalized experiences and notifications of activities around the topics of interest. Now that's all due out in June of 2023. And then in Microsoft Teams, Together Mode usability improvements. So Microsoft will be bringing new usability improvements to the Together mode. Participants in Together mode will now have name labels attached to their video. Nice. Name labels will also support status icons to indicate microphone, active speaker, spotlight, or pin within the meeting. Second, your own video in the gallery will now be removed. Well, in Together mode, is active to avoid the duplication of a self preview. Lastly, Together Mode will now display raised hands and reactions within the view. I think that's great.
Yeah, nothing more than it was fun to listen to you talk about it.
And then the other one that I wanted to talk about that I'm not quite sure about yet is Planner, plan sharing with file container. So a new authorization model is implemented for Planner plans, which will be a shared container-based authorization mode, where OneDrive and SharePoint Online files can be linked to plans to provide users with access to the plan if they have access to the shared container. This means that file-based authorizations for plans will provide streamlined access to roster-backed plans that are connected to one or more SharePoint Online or OneDrive files.
Yeah, that one just sounds really confusing.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do some more research on that. It sounds like you can grant access to a plan by granting access to a file associated with a task.
Possibly, yeah.
What do you have,
Interesting.
Tom?
So in Microsoft Teams, an improved search experience in chats and channels. So I know that they've been doing changes in Team Search that makes it easier to find what you're looking for. This is specific to when you're actually searching within a chat or a channel to find something. So let's say that Tamara and I were chatting in a one-on-one chat, all day long, and there's something that she said that I remember that I want to go search. I'll now be able to do that search, and it's going to show the information in the right handrail so I can stay in the flow of my work. Enhancements like highlighted keywords will make it easier for users to scan the results. I think this is nice instead of having to go out and say, oh, I remember we were looking at something. I go out to the overall search, and now I have to wade through searches and files and everything else that may have that keyword that I'm looking for. Here, it allows you that pre-filtering to be able to just say, hey, in this conversation, I remember something, or in this particular chat, I remember something. So looking forward to seeing that, and we should see that in June if everything works out correctly. There's
Anything
also
else in development?
was going to say there's also one other thing. Outlook, Outlook for Windows and
Really?
web. Yeah, really. Reading pane background images to offer more personalization to end users. Outlook on the web and the new Outlook for Windows will now have the ability to display a background image in the reading pane whenever emails are not selected. This feature will be turned off by default for commercial customers. A user will be able to turn on a background image by going to Settings, General Appearance from Outlook. So in other words, when you have that reading pane there, so you can get the preview of things without having to open the email, if you don't have anything selected, usually it's just a blank screen that basically says select something. Now you're going to be able to put a nice picture of your dog or whatever out there. Okay, that's great. I don't know how often I have my pane not showing anything. Usually I've got the
Yeah.
last email I read. But yeah, if that's important to you, guess what? You're going to get it in June.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
All
So that's
right,
all that
let's
I
move
have.
on to rolling out. I'll go ahead and start.
You do that.
I'll go with Microsoft Teams active speaker view in meetings. I thought we already had this, where the active speaker gets a little purple thing around them. So active speaker is apparently a new view added to Microsoft Teams meetings. It highlights the active speaker while still showing the rest of the participants in the meeting. Users can use this new view through the view switcher in a meeting. Now that is in GCC High, DoD, and the worldwide tenant. Oh, and GCC High, DoD, GCC, and the
Everybody.
worldwide tenant. Everybody gets it. And then I've got to touch on this one just because I love the name. Minecraft Education, the Wild Update 1.19. No, it gets better when you read the description. Get ready for the wild update for Minecraft Education with useful new blocks and items, charismatic mobs,
Okay.
and mangrove swamps, explore and survive in an amazing new world. This update improves the user experience with smoother sign-in, library search, and tool tips. I am so happy right now.
Now, see, if they would allow me to have mangrove swamps and whatever the gangs were that they were
Charismatic moms.
I want one of those in Teams. That's just all there is to it. I want a charismatic mob in Teams. That would make my day.
What do you have,
Okay.
Tom?
I don't think I can top that actually.
I didn't think
Um,
you could.
yeah, well, I'm going to try.
All right.
OneDrive updated files on demand setting on Windows. So they're updating the OneDrive sync app settings for files on demand for users who have the feature enabled. So files on demand basically say you can ask people, hey, I'm sharing this location with you. Please send files for, say, timesheets or whatever to this location. And the people it's been shared with, they can upload, but they can only upload to that file, and they can only see their own things. They can't see anything else that anybody else has submitted. Now they're making sure that the OneDrive Sync app respects that properly and does all that good stuff with it. We also have Outlook video capture and upload to OneDrive. So users will be able to capture a video from their phone while in the Outlook mobile app and then seamlessly upload it to their email. Uploading the video will leverage OneDrive for Business, allowing users to benefit from increased storage space and large limits for video size and length. I think this is probably really good for people who are trying to do that. Hey, here's quick notes from the road here, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Or you've got a supervisor who likes to do commute talks or something, and they want to go ahead and do this and then send it out to their group. I don't know how often you'll be sending videos from your phones, because obviously that's not the best video experience. But again, it gives you that, I'm on the scene of, and I'm giving you a live video without all the trappings of sitting in an office and getting the lighting right and the whole bit. And for certain kinds of things, I could see where that would be really helpful, or just getting, again, that really quick, I want to take some notes, I want to, jot some information down. I'm just going to do it as a video. And when I click send on it, it's going to put it out to my OneDrive. And then when I get in the office or wherever, I can do more with it at that point in time. So I think that's an interesting option to have, in addition to what the Stream mobile app would allow you to do, which is kind of the same thing, only in a more formal stream setting. So, and that's all I
Great.
have
Should we
in the
move
rolling
on to
out.
launch then?
You go ahead and take one, I'll take one.
All right. Planner, task email notifications for GCC and DoD. These are out in full force. I'm getting bombarded with them because I do trainings. And so I'll build a planner. Now, all the old planners that I've built are saying, you have late tasks.
Suckers are coming home to roost now, aren't they?
They are. So now I have to go find them all and take care of that. So task email notifications for GCC and DoD aims at bringing existing planner email notifications to customers in GCC and DoD. The two main categories of the notifications are assignment email notifications and a due date digest email that will send out 7 days prior to the due date if it is not completed. I'm like, are you kidding? It's not the day before. Of course it's not completed. Tom, what do you have?
I'll take the only other item on there, and it's a purview item, which is eDiscovery. Certificate-based authentication supports for eDiscovery PowerShell commandlets. Official support for eDiscovery PowerShell commandlets with certificate-based authentication, CBA. You're going to get it. It's launched. It's out there for everybody. If that's important to you, knock yourself out.
There it is. All right, we've only got one and canceled, and that's a Microsoft Purview Compliance Portal, Information Protection, SIT feedback loop for Content Explorer and DLP alerts. This is for the US government clouds. This feature is delayed indefinitely. So don't be looking for it.
You may get it, you may not. We don't know.
You may not. All right, that's all the news that is fit to print, or fit to talk about anyway,
There you go.
on the Microsoft Pulse. Thanks for joining me, Tom, because this would have been really boring by myself.
I would have just sat in the office behind you and listened to you try to cover the whole thing on your own.
That would have been fun.
No, it wouldn't have. You would have made me pay for it later.
I would have. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.